Boro Boye. So over the last couple of years, I've been following the career of Dr. Umar Johnson at a distance, and ever so often there seems to be some kind of a spike in interest in Dr. Umar, for one reason or another, and it's always controversial and loud. But it's interesting to me because there are certain aspects of the conversation that just seem to get glossed over. It just seems that people don't address it, which is, Dr. Umar Johnson he's a school psychologist. That's that. That's pretty much what he does. It isn't really more complicated than that. He's a school psychologist, and he has chosen to go out on a speaking circuit and talk about what he has encountered and experienced as a school psychologist and how it pertains to African American boys in particular. And then he gives a variety of theories and historical and sociological and political context for why he thinks these things are happening. In the most stripped down way, that's all I see happening, and it just becomes baffling how people get so caught up in these other things, but the one sentiment that I do want to address, I think is really important, because this is where I see a lot of the indignation, in the commentary that goes back and forth. This idea that people want a better, stronger, more wholesome or upright spokesperson or leader, or whatever they call Dr. Umar Johnson. They want him to, people want to reject him because he's not good enough somehow, right? He's not legit enough somehow. He doesn't have There's something that people feel is missing. And of course, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I was doing some work earlier, and I happened to stumble back upon my copy of the blueprint. How many of y'all got the blueprint? You know where I'm going with this. The blueprint is 800 and a lot of pages, right? Dr. Amos Wilson, is, he is the black psychologist of our era. He's the revolutionary black psychologist of this modern, generation. And he very painstakingly details a blueprint for black power. Okay. And I'm going to venture that probably, a very small percentage of us have the book, and an even smaller percentage of us have read the book, and then an even smaller percentage have actually implemented anything that's in the blueprint. So the idea that somehow, we would be better off with a more upright and, thorough and legitimate psychologist to show us the way, it just doesn't stand up. It doesn't hold water, And I'm going to venture to say that you don't really want, a better, more, well-defined plan or program or personality or representative. That isn't the problem, okay? That's not the problem. And so the moment you let go of that idea that somehow if it were somebody better or if the plan was more transparent or something, once you let go of that, once you let yourself off the hook for that, you can then let Dr. Umar off the hook too, and you can stop acting like he has to be something other than what he is, right? And what I'm trying to say in that is as long as people pretend that, it's a projection, is what I'm saying. It's a projection that somehow I would respond better if you were a better spokesperson. I would be a better, soldier if you were a better general. And and that's not, you know what I mean? Just let that go. Just let that go, right? And instead look at what you can at the very least learn from what Dr. Umar Johnson has done. He's a school psychologist, and he has gone back and reported what he found as a school psychologist. How many black dentists have taken that position? How many black city employees have taken that position? How many black firemen or policemen or government representatives, even, right? City councilmen or you know what I mean? How many people? How many of you, from wherever you are, as a secretary, right? As a clerk, as an accountant, how many people, as a banker, as a lawyer, how many of you, from right where you sit every day, you can see how your industry or the work environment has, impacted a particular segment of Black America, or the Black America as a whole? You have some insight. Why don't you just make it, a point to share with us what you have found and give us some insights into what you think we can really do, not with shaming and blaming and trying to attack one another for what everyone is doing the best that they can from where they are with what they have. I think that you'll feel better when you do it that way, and you won't have so much. You won't be trying to hold Dr. Umar Johnson or anybody else to this imaginary standard that you're using to justify, your own inertia. You're using to justify your own apathy or your own lack of, self-agency, right? Because you see things and you experience things every day. You know what's going on, and you know that you could just as easily make a stand, right? And so I really feel like it's important that we recognize that there are other things out there like the blueprint, and you go and you read Claude Anderson's work and you listen to Claude Anderson speak. And the reason why I know that people, we're not implementing things like the blueprint is because, unless the numbers are wrong, or unless my own personal observation experience is totally wrong, but according to the statistics, less than 3% of us are entrepreneurs and run our own businesses. So that means 97% at least of African Americans work for white people. Okay, so we couldn't be implementing these things in the blueprint. We couldn't be implementing any of the teachings that we claim to hold near and dear. We couldn't be implementing any of them if almost everybody is working for somebody else, right? So I think that that's where really the angst and the frustration is coming from, and it's being projected onto people like Dr. Umar Johnson. And it's not going to ultimately make you feel better, and it's not going to allow you to make a better contribution to the situation that is just is off the rails. So I just want to encourage people to live the medicine, right? That's going to truly liberate you. It's going to truly heal you. It's going to take you to the level that you want to experience in your life. And it's a lot simpler than you would like to believe. It's very, very direct. You start where you are, and you start doing what you can based on where you are, and involve the people around you who are somehow invested in that situation. They want to see it resolved just as badly as you do. and you know, you may not be on a national speaking circuit, and you may not be able to make claims like calling yourself the Prince of Pan-Africanism or anything like that. That is probably a unique opportunity for Dr. Umar Johnson. It suits his personality, and the conditions are right for that, so he's doing his thing. But there's something that you can do, and there's some level of fulfillment and gratification that you can get from playing your part, from making your contribution to the people who matter most, in your life. It takes out all the bitterness, y'all. It takes out all of that anxiety. It takes out all that aggression and resentment. All of that just gets taken out. That's poison, But and it's poison that we perpetuate within our own lives by being, trapped in that little box of perpetual victimization. And the only thing I can do is protest, right? That's, what I mean? All I can do is just protest and protest and protest. You can do more than that. You could do a lot more than that, And it doesn't have to be like what Dr. Umar does. You don't have to go on a speaking circuit, but there's something that you can do. And it's going to make you feel so much better. So my prayer for you as the year comes to an end and we start to envision what's possible for us going forward, I just hope that, you will make some time within yourself to see the vision within your own heart, within your soul. You see that thing that just speaks to you, and it compels you to get up in the morning, and there's just that something that excites you and makes you feel inspired about what's possible. Okay, I just pray that you get the courage and the clarity to name that, and to identify just one thing that you can do every day that will help you to live that medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you were destined to serve. Aboru aboye, aboshisha.